They said the Warrens had seen everything: possessions, hauntings, miracles, and lies. But evil doesn't end when the case closes. It waits, it studies, it remembers those who dared to challenge it. Now, in their last stand, faith will be tested. Not by demons they can name, but by something that crawls between life and damnation itself. This isn't just another haunting. This is the Conjuring, Last Rites. And in this video, we cover everything. The full breakdown of every scene, every hidden fact the movie hides, and even the true events that inspired this terrifying story.
Well, my name is Jack Smurl. This is my wife Janet Smurl. I would say that the house was haunted.
You do believe your home is haunted?
Absolutely.
Do you believe your home?
There's no doubt, and I am a believer that this house is really haunted.
So grab your coffee, tighten your seatbelt, hit that like button and subscribe, because what you're about to see is not just a movie. It's a descent into darkness you won't forget. Welcome to Silent Hour, where we are there before even fear begins. And to everyone watching, we have a big favor to ask. Join us on Instagram. That's where we post exclusive trailers and sneak peeks before they hit YouTube. Your support there means the world to us, so please give us a follow. It all begins in 1964. Ed and Lorraine Warren, the legendary paranormal investigators, are in a curio shop, examining an antique mirror. Lorraine, ever the empath, touches it, and it shatters. She collapses, visions of a dark entity and her unborn child flashing before her eyes. Ed rushes her to the hospital. She's about to give birth. Tension builds as the couple instinctively wards off the unseen force, and in a terrifying moment, their daughter Judy is born, still barely clinging to life. A brush with death that would set the stage for decades of haunting terror. Fast forward 22 years. The Smurl family moves into a two-story house in Pennsylvania. Jack and Janet, their parents Mary and John, and 4 daughters, Dawn, Heather, and the twins, Karen and Shannon. For Heather's birthday, the family innocently brings home a large mirror, a gift, a doorway, a nightmare. During Heather's confirmation, a kitchen light crashes down, narrowly missing her. But that's only the beginning. The house stirs with disembodied voices, shadows moving just beyond vision, and paranormal activity so relentless it leaves the Smurls on edge. The disturbances focus around the mirror, and things escalate, fast. The girls try to get rid of it, but the mirror has other plans. Dawn wakes the next day with shards of glass mysteriously embedded in her body. She collapses, vomiting blood. Meanwhile, Jack is assaulted by the unseen entity. The family reaches their breaking point. Desperate for answers, they take their terror to the press, exposing the nightmare that has consumed their lives.
Jack Smurl says that a demon assaulted him in the middle of the night, paralyzing his body.
My wife, and then there was screaming.
Is this really a haunting? Or is this some elaborate hoax?
8 people live in this house. 8 people are not crazy.
Meanwhile, Judy Warren, now grown, is grappling with her own terrifying gift. Her psychic abilities are growing stronger, disturbing visions creeping into her life, from the Annabelle doll to a mysterious older woman. Her fiancé, Tony Spera, proposes during Ed's birthday party, a joyful moment, overshadowed by foreboding darkness. Even Father Gordon senses the danger. He attempts to aid the Smurls, but the Warrens, now retired, initially refuse. When Father Gordon ventures to Pennsylvania alone, the demon attacks, forcing him to commit suicide.
I am protected by God Almighty. Protect me!
Judy, in a harrowing vision, realizes his fate and goes off on her own to help. Ed, Lorraine, and Tony frantically search for Judy, eventually tracing her to the Smurls' home. The house is alive with evil. The mirror radiates malevolence, and Lorraine's psychic abilities reveal the presence of a powerful demon. 2 murders have already occurred. 1 girl, 1 older woman, trapped in the mirror's curse. Night falls, and the entity targets Judy, locking Lorraine in the basement and Tony outside. But the Warrens won't back down. Lorraine, tapping into her psychic gift, joins forces with Ed and Judy. Prayers clash with the demon's fury, a terrifying battle of faith versus darkness. In a climactic confrontation, the mirror shatters, the evil finally driven out. The Smurls, battered but alive, can finally breathe again. The house remains occupied by the Smurls for another 3 years, safe at last. The cursed mirror, secured in the Warrens' occult museum, locked away, for now. And in a heartwarming, bittersweet final scene, Judy walks down the aisle with Ed by her side, marrying Tony. Among the guests are familiar faces from the Warrens' past cases. Carolyn Perron, Janet Hodgson, and David Glatzel. Ed and Lorraine share a final dance, a quiet moment of reflection. Their trust, their faith, and their relentless courage have stood against the darkness for decades. And to all fearless viewers of Silent Hour, this spooky season, we've brought you a curse. But are you ready to be the chosen?
When the moon calls, the legend awakens once more. From 1941 until now, horror's darkest curse is reborn. But be warned, the curse of the werewolf never dies. It only waits for its next host. And now, fate has chosen you as its next victim. Embrace your fate and claim your curse with 40% off, today only. Link below before it's too late.
The Conjuring Last Rites Breakdown.
On April the 29th, 1985. And we have a 4-foot by 2-foot ceiling light. In a matter of a split second, it came crashing down onto the kitchen table.
The true terror behind the Smurl haunting. There is something in this house, and it wants to break us. Those were the words Janet Smurl whispered in the 1980s. Words that still send shivers down the spine of anyone who's ever heard their story. Before Hollywood turned it into the Conjuring Last Rites, before the headlines and documentaries, there was only one family, trapped in a nightmare that wouldn't end. This isn't just another haunting. This is a story of faith, fear, and a family's will to survive.
Well, my name is Jack Smurl. This is my wife Janet Smurl, daughters Dawn, Heather, Shannon, Karen, are twins. I would say that the house was haunted.
You do believe your home is haunted?
Absolutely.
Do you believe your home?
There's no doubt. And if you had told me this a year ago, I would have probably told you that you needed a psychiatrist. But I am a believer that this house is really haunted.
It began in 1973, when Jack and Janet Smurl moved into a modest duplex in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, with their daughters and Jack's elderly parents. The house looked ordinary, maybe even welcoming, but it had secrets. Faucets turned on by themselves. Appliances caught fire. Bangs, thuds, stains that appeared and vanished. The smell of rot would fill the air, then vanish. At first they thought it was just an old house creaking. But they were wrong, because soon the house wasn't just haunted, it was alive. Janet said a dark force attacked her in the kitchen. Jack claimed it tried to rape him in his sleep. Their dog was thrown across the room. One daughter was pushed down the stairs. And at night, a shadow, tall, human-like, breathing, would stand silently in the hallway. For over a decade, the Smurls lived with the unimaginable, and their faith was the only thing keeping them from falling apart. By 1986, the family reached their breaking point. That's when Ed and Lorraine Warren entered the story. The Warrens claimed there were 4 entities, one of them a high-level demon that fed on fear and despair. Lorraine said she saw it, a shadow with hooves. Ed fought it with holy water and prayer, but it only grew stronger. They blessed the house, exorcised the rooms, and for a while things went quiet. But it always came back, smarter, angrier, hungrier. Soon the world found out. Reporters arrived. Skeptics mocked them. Some said it was all made up. Others blamed stress, trauma, or Jack's old medical issues. But the Smurls never broke. They told their story, wrote The Haunted, and stood by what they believed until the end. When they finally moved out, the hauntings stopped. But the memories didn't. Now the Conjuring Last Rites brings their pain, faith, and fear back to the screen. Not just as another case, but as the emotional ending of the Warrens' legacy. It's about aging. It's about doubt. It's about what happens when you've carried the weight of darkness for too long. And for the first time, we'll see Judy, the Warrens' daughter, decide whether to continue her parents' fight or finally close the door on the evil that's haunted her family for decades. Because haunting isn't just about what moves in the dark. It's about what keeps you from ever feeling safe again. And this story is one every Conjuring fan needs to witness. From the moment filming began in London in September 2024, strange things started happening. Crew members spoke of sudden cold chills sweeping through the Covington mansion, especially during basement scenes. Thermal cameras reportedly picked up sharp temperature drops, even when the equipment was off. Then came the whispers. Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine Warren, said she began feeling like her dialogue was being fed to her. After production wrapped in November, 3 separate paranormal teams entered the filming location, and they claimed to encounter the same kind of activity the cast had described. When you watch The Conjuring Last Rites, remember, some of what you're seeing on screen didn't come from the script. It came from something that refused to stay quiet. And of course, a heartfelt thanks to Silent Hour Guardian, Diddy Criffield. Your support keeps us going.
And don't forget, be unique, be bold, and be you.